Hello everyone, a very good evening. Welcome to Oliveboard. This is the JAIIB Foundation series for the May 2025 exam, and we are covering the RBWM paper. Today we'll be discussing about the unit 11 from module B, which is remittance products. We'll be seeing the new developments on the remittance side, what are the electronic systems that have been launched, and how they work, what are the objectives, and so on. So, the traditional remittance products, the checks, demand drafts, bank orders, all the telegraphic remittance, these are the earliest remittance products which constituted the core remittance mechanism across the banks. But now, with the introduction of technology and the customers moving towards the digital transactions, various new methods have been launched by RBI. So, RBI has taken many initiatives towards introducing and upgrading the safe and efficient methods for the payment systems. We will be discussing them today. All right, so with computerization in Indian banks rapidly picking up, RBI has said they have set in motion necessary regulations and the payment systems for the electronic funds transfer. So now the use of paper-based instruments, the checks and drafts, their percentage is coming down. In the early decades, it was around 60% of the total non-cash transactions, but now the share is presently around 11%, and more customers are using the electronic modes. The earlier remittance products are now not in use. So the electronic payment systems, there we can divide it into two parts. There are the centralized payment systems and the decentralized payment systems. Centralized include the RTGS, NEFT, and the NECS, which are available with the eligible licensed bank. And on the decentralized side, we have the clearing houses at the MICR centers, including the check truncation systems, the electronic clearing services, ECS, which are open to all the eligible licensed banks. So both centralized and decentralized payment systems are working. Along with the enactment of the Payment and Settlement Systems Act of 2007, these have been regulated. These are under the supervision of RBI now. Also, NPCI is the umbrella organization for operating all the retail settlements in India. So these are the various initiatives that are taken by RBI. So we'll be discussing these important remittance products, the NEFT and RTGS in the centralized payment systems. Okay, so first we have the NEFT, which is the National Electronic Fund Transfer, and it has been introduced by RBI. The main objectives of the NEFT system: first, to establish an electronic funds transfer system to facilitate efficient, secure, economical, reliable, and expeditious system, and to relieve the stress on the existing paper-based remittance services of funds transfer and the clearing system. So the NEFT, it facilitates one-to-one transfer. The important feature, one-to-one transfer. We already know the process of initiating a request under NEFT, how it is processed. Also, the NEFT, it operates on the deferred net settlement DNS basis. This is another feature of the NEFT. And if a bank branch, if a customer, they want to transfer funds, their bank has to be NEFT enabled, so the funds can be transferred using the NEFT. And however, the remittances, earlier there were the maximum minimum restrictions which are now deregulated, and the NEFT RTGS, both of the remittance, they are transmitted through the SFMS, which is the structured financial messaging system, the SFMS. One way cross border transfer is also available from India to Nepal, which is the Indo-Nepal remittance facility. And there's also the maximum remittance that can be done. Earlier, there were charges which were levied on the customers for the NEFT, but with 2020, RBI has removed all the applicable charges, and these transactions are done in batches. So there are 48 hourly batches every day where the NEFT transactions they take place. All right, so these are the various details when we talk about the NEFT process flow. So there are five basic components. We have the sending bank, the sending service center, the NEFT clearing center, the receiving serving center, and the beneficiary branch. These are the parties to a fund transfer under the NEFT. So a process starts with a request which is made by the remitter with the remitter bank, which prepares the structured financial messaging solution and send it to the service center for the remitter bank for NEFT, and then it is received by the National Clearing Cell of RBI, which is in Mumbai. Then the bank wise sorting of the transaction is done, and then net debit or net credit is done through the next available settlement or in the next batch. This is received by the receiver bank, and then it is transferred to the customer's bank account. All right, so this is the whole process of the NEFT transaction. Then we have the RTGS, which is the real time gross settlement. Here the net DNS is not there. Then it is real time, it is not done in the batches. Again, order by order basis. It is done order by order basis without netting. Without netting. So immediately it is done. Real time means the processing of the instructions at the time they are received. And gross settlement means that the transfer instructions are carried out individually, right? Also, the payments are final and irrevocable. These are the basic features that we know about the RTGS, right? Then, if we talk about the RTGS process flow, so the transactions are carried out. These are the interbank transactions, the customer payment transactions, as well as the delivery versus payment transactions, and the financial obligations on their own account will be settled under the interbank transactions. Then customer payment transaction according to a payment message. These are the various types. Then the process starts with a request which is made from the customer to route a remittance through the RTGS. This is the first step. Then the request has to furnish the amount that is to be remitted, the remitting customer's account number, name of the beneficiary bank, IFSC code, and so on. Then the originating bank would debit the amount account as per the mandate, and a structured message will be created. A structured message will be created. It will be communicated to the payment system gateway and also transmitted to the RTGS system. The settlement request after the central processor will be sent to the central bank for the settlement. Right? After authentication, the debit and the credit will be made, and this will, after confirmation, the full payment message will be sent to the receiving bank. So this is the process of the RTGS. All right. Again, there were cutoff times in the RTGS system, the maximum service charges, but these processing charges have also been waived by RBI from 2019. Right. Then, if we talk about the electronic clearing services, if let's say any institution they wants to make a bulk payment, it can use the ECS. So through a single request, payment can be made to more than one beneficiaries. So the ECS credit is used by an institution for affording credit to a large number of beneficiaries. For example, the payments are to be made to the employees of a company, the investors, or the pensioners. So the payment might include salary to the employees, dividend to the investors, interest, and pension. So the ECS credit user initiates the credit payments, and they have to register themselves with the clearinghouse. Also, the payment will be done only where the ECS user has their bank or their account with the sponsor bank. So the ECS credit payments can be put through the ECS user only through her or his own bank, which is known as the sponsor bank. All right, so the user again is going to submit the details of the beneficiaries, the date on which the credit is to be afforded, and again, every time or every month, let's say on the 7th, the salary is to be credited to the beneficiaries' accounts, all the beneficiaries of the company. Separate instruction will not have to be given. So, in the specified format, the instruction will be given, right? And it is the responsibility of the user institution to communicate to the beneficiary that the credit are being afforded to their account. All right. Then on the other hand, we have the ECS debit, which can be used by an institution for raising the debits to a large number of accounts. For example, for the payment of telephone, electricity, water bills, cess or tax collections, loan installments. So again, automatically the debits will be made from the user's account, for which they will give their own confirmation, right? So a mandate in the ECS debit with is made or issued to the customer, and for this the customer has to maintain adequate funds to ensure that the ECS debit instructions are honored when presented, right? Also, there are options where the customer can stipulate the ceiling on the amount of the debit, the purpose or the validity. So all of these things are there. There can be the local ECS, the regional ECS, as well as the national ECS, which is the NECS. So there's no need for issuing any check to the beneficiary. And if there is sufficient balance, then the payment defaults will not happen. So all of these are the benefits. Then we have the National Automated Clearinghouse, which is a centralized system with the aim to consolidate multiple ECS systems running across the country. So now the NACH is going to consolidate all of these ECS. It will provide harmonization of the standards and the practices, and it will also remove the local barriers and inhibitions, right? So, with the implementation of the NACH, the NPCI intends to provide a single set of rules, open standards, and the best industry practices for the electronic transactions. So, the service providers, users, they will follow these common instructions and regulations. All right. There's also the Aadhaar payment bridge, the APB system developed by NPCI, which is helping the government and the government agencies in making the direct benefit transfers. So there also the NECH is being utilized. Again, there are benefits to the customer, organization, bank, and so on. The different parties are the sponsor bank, the destination bank, users, clearing times, settlement finality, and the mandate management system. Okay. Then we have the Aadhaar enabled payment system, AEPS, which allows the online interoperable financial transaction at the point of sale terminals or the micro ATMs. And these are routed through the business correspondent or the bank mitra. So this is for financial inclusion, better connectivity. So just using the Aadhaar authentication, people who do not have access, they can through the business correspondent make the financial transaction at their POS. For this, a KYC compliant bank account, which is seeded with the Aadhaar, has to be made available, right? Using the Aadhaar confirmation, it can be done. So the services which are offered can be cash withdrawal, cash deposit, balance inquiry, Aadhaar to Aadhaar, fund transfer, and mini statement. So these are the various benefits. And then we have the Bharat bill payment system, which is again a very important development. Under this, basically, it provides an integrated bill payment system in the country, right? And RBI, the Bharat bill payment system, is conceptualized by RBI, and it is driven by NPCI. Anytime, anywhere, the payments can be made, right? So these can be also initiated through the multiple payment channels like internet banking, mobile banking, point of sale terminal, mobile wallets, kiosk, ATM, bank branch, anywhere. And the key participants under this are the Bharat Bill Payment Central Unit, which is the BBPCU. Then we have the operating unit, and we also have the agent institutions and the agents, right? So the central unit undertakes a clearing and the settlement activities. The operating unit, they will be authorized by RBI. It can be a bank or a non-bank agent institution who wish to offer their services in the bill payment, and the agents through which the payments are routed, like the business correspondent outlets or the bank branches or the collection centers. So for the payment of various bills like electricity bill, gas bill, landline, broadband, mobile, water, DTH, all of these payments can be made, right? All of these payments can be made through the Bharat Bill payment system, right? So that is all from this chapter. All the details of the payment systems, all the electronic payment systems that have been developed by RBI. If you want to study this chapter in detail, then you can join the JIB selection batch for the May-June 2025. The classes have already started, and this will be all in one course, both in English medium as well as bilingual. You will get live classes for all the papers, so you need not avail a separate course for each paper. You'll also get sectional, full length, case study, and numerical based test. So if you want to clear your JIB exam in this attempt itself, make sure that you enroll for the course. The details are available. The link to the course is available in the description box. Also, you can download the PDF. The link is available for that also. And if you have any doubts, any queries, please let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because these classes that we are having daily, these sessions are very important for your exam preparation. You will get an idea of the chapter, the syllabus, and how you are going to prepare it. So thank you so much for attending the session. If you like the session, please hit the like button, and I will see you tomorrow with the next chapter. Thank you and all the best.